Putting in a unisteer for Can-Am Commander. First thing you do, disconnect the battery. This one right here. First thing you do is remove the pinch bolt. I already loosened it. Just want to show you how easy it just comes out. See? Now you can just pull the steering wheel off. Just disengages the steering wheel. Here's an interesting fact. The nut is a 16 metric, the bolt is a 17 metric. So if you're going to go in here and loosen it, make sure you bring the right tools. This is the bolt being removed. I must say the bolt, this is how it was. Start rotating from the bolt side, not from the nut side, because of the different tools I used. Well, in this instance, it wouldn't come loose, so what I did, I pried a screwdriver in there, a couple taps with a hammer, and voila, it comes off right away. I guess since the elements here make it a little bit more rusty. Steering rod still in place, and it asks to remove the rubber flap right here, so you can remove the steering rod. Alright, I had to lift it up to push it back some to get it out of here, and I'll just pull it out. Next steps, I want you to take the factory module out, which is sitting right next here to the battery. It's a metric size 10. And make sure you have two metric number 10 wrenches, because the bolts will lightly rotate once the knot loosens, so you need to have two tools. Factory module is attached with 3 bolts. The top one's a little bit harder to reach, so make sure that you know that. Last bolt on the module is a little bit harder to reach, but this is how I had to do it. Alright, it's telling me to take the module off and take these 3 bolts off, so I'll just have the mounting bracket by itself without the motor and the module to start installing. Well, here we go. Alright, I used a number 10 to take the module off. And next I'll try taking the motor off using number 10. Alright, this is disassembled. What I did is I put the bolts back and the bracket holds it down, just so you don't lose all your screws when you try to put stuff back. Okay. Alright, this is what we do next. Make sure you put the bolts in the holes here. So you can line the hole up. And I want you to mark the hole and then take it off and drill the hole all the way through the square tube. Which is square. Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, it's a square tube. So let's do that. Alright, make sure you got a good drill that's made for metal. And you drill this hole right here. That's going to hold the bolt. I'm going to go all the way through. Let's see. There you go. That's all the way through to the other side. This is what it looks on this side. There you go. There's the hole. Alright, let's go and install the mountain bracket. Alright, install the bracket. Put the bolts, 1, 2 behind it. Let's see if you can see it up there. Just put a screwdriver through it to make sure it's lined up. Not sure if it's needed or not, but just for precaution. Next thing we'll do, we'll put this module right back on here. Alright, and next we put the module in place. And then tighten it with the washers and nuts that's provided by the kit. I had a really hard time to get the top bolt tightened, so I had to use a different little tool. This one right here. I'll do it like that. In order to tighten that bolt, or nut in this case, I'll just do it like this. That was, to me, the easiest way to get it done. Not having the exact tool, otherwise we'll do it. Before you get the motor in place, make sure that you hook it up to the steering shaft and then put it in place here. It's not easy, but it will work. It just takes a little bit of patience and a lot of twisting and turning. Alright, power steering motor is in place. 3 nuts hand tightened so far. You have to tighten 20 foot-pounds with a torque wrench. And then we go to the next step. Attaching these steering column. Alright, I tightened the 3 bolts. I didn't quite tighten them to 20 foot-pounds. I thought that was too much. I more did like 15. And now we can install the 5/16 bolt into the bracket. In the hole that we just drilled earlier. And hope it's all gonna fit. Alright, this is the bolt in place. Let's tighten it. Just want to show it. Going straight to this frame. This should hold the power steering in place. Alright, this bolt is tight. Now, I'm gonna do these little 10mm bolts. Oops. It's not magic. Jeez. The big bolt is tight. Now we can tighten the little. I'm using metric 11. This happens to have the alignment mark right there, so I can easily see it. So I just have to line it up with the alignment mark. Alright, it's in place. So now install the bolt and tighten it. Okay, if you don't have long arms like me, you can always go from the driver's side. All you have to do is remove the cover for the brake master cylinder up here, which I didn't want to do that, so I went on the passenger side, and I'm using this wrench right here and this tool right here to tighten the bolt. Alright, after installing the lower steering shaft, I'm going to do the upper steering shaft. Again, this has a flat spot in it that needs to line up over here somewhere. Alright, and now it's going like this. Orange goes down here. This has a flat spot. Lines up with the flat spot on the steering column. Alright, steering column assembly is in place. You just gotta turn it to tighten this bolt, the bolt up here, and this bolt up here. You see this one, yeah. And you tighten all these three, and then you're done with the steering column assembly. And then you go on the electrical work. All the bolts are tightened. Wheels are turning. Next step will be installing the unisteer module here. Single connector facing towards the driver. The unisteer module, looks like the top has been silicone sealed. I'm still not sure if it would make it waterproof though, because through these plugs water could enter the unit. Our steering module is in place. Now we need to route the blue wire and the green wire away from any moving parts and plug it into the steering module. Best thing is to route the wires first over the top, so to keep them as high as possible. Plug them into the module before you attach the last bolt. It will go like that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave it sitting like this until I finish up hooking up all the wires, and then I'll tighten the bolts. Alright, take the top bolts off here and here. There are the push bolts here. One on the other side. What you do, removes the whole panel. Then you can get to the ignition switch in the back. Take that off. You find the wire that activates when you turn the key on. You see this black, yellow one on the right side is the one. Peel some insulation back and solder the wire that's provided to it. Alright, this is what I did for wiring. I took the black and yellow wire from the key ignition, hooked up the red wire. I used liquid tape, then tied that into the green wire, and instead of routing all the way back, I just did it over here to keep it short. And then the orange and the green wire both go to the red LED light, which is right here in the front, and that's how everything works behind the center console. Alright, I installed the red light and run the wires behind the panel. What I did is I moved the green wire over to be behind this panel, and then connected it with the red wire that comes from the key, which I thought was easy to keep it behind here instead of moving everything over here, since the green wire and the orange wire are both coming over here. So and now when you turn it on, the red light lights up and then it goes off. The last part is not too hard. You just hook up the battery to the power steering. Red wire right here and the black wire right here. I run it to the top. I use some zip ties attached to this bar right here. Same for the wires here. And actually, move the module up a little bit higher than intended to be, with the original screw here and the zip tie on top, just so in case you go into water, you got some more clearance. There you go. It works fine. Alright, this is the sound the fuse box makes when you turn it on. It's like a zooming noise, and this relay right here is vibrating, making a zooming noise. Okay, I located the problem. The ground wire here vibrated loose. That's what's causing it. Jeez.